All right, good morning once again and welcome to your show on channel 196 on Start Times. This is Cool FM and welcome to Crossfire. My name is Dapo Banjo. Today we'll be doing justice to a couple of stories that make headlines during the weekend and a lot of goings on about the elections in 2015. All right, all of us, we are aware that the elections are being postponed to, the 28th of March and April 11th, respectively, for both the presidential and the gubernatorial and House of Assembly elections. All right, we want to say a very big welcome to you once again. It's a bright and a lovely week, and today is Monday, and we are all looking forward to a very wonderful week. I have with me in the studio my co-anchor, Barrister Ishoma Aga Ine.
Good morning, Nigerians, and you're welcome to the show.
As a matter of fact, Ishoma, what does Aga Ine means? Somebody said, is she married? Maybe that's why she's combining the Aga and then Ine.
It's a compound name. Ine is my grandfather's name, and then Aga is my dad's native name. So it's a compound name.
So if eventually you got married and as a broadcaster, as usual, you want to retain your father's name, and then maybe you married a Cole, and then you have Ishoma Againe Cole.
So when we get to that bridge, we'll figure out something.
I think it's not a cool name like
Cole.
No,
that way it's a very cool, an amazing name.
All right. Anyway, I wish you all the best. Well, I think the name is long enough right now, and then by the time you're adding another one, it will be.
Of course, I would need to definitely drop one.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to drop one.
Hopefully. Let's see how it goes, and all of that. Welcome once again. Our episode today promised to be a very interesting one as we have trending stories that are making headlines, and Nigerians are waiting to just see and understand why some of these happenings are going on about the time that the elections are just around the corner. And one of the major headlines that we'll be treating this morning is to letting you know that the Boko Haram sect, and with the military's intervention in a few days, we have a lot of activities that are probably dwindling, and some already taken over. Local governments have been recovered by the Nigerian military, and then we have a very strong coalition between Chad and Niger.
And then we've seen also how
launching
on the increase Boko Haram activimes.
How they've
taken
we heard that
new
Chad
dimension.
and Niger have been launching very seriously both land and air. Discharge.
We've seen how Boko Haram they've
also
pledged their allegiance also to ISIS. I think that's like
before we go there, I think what
issue.
has really characterized the activities in these last few days have been bombings. It's not that they've been on foot and really, going to capture like they used to be, moving from one locality to another. But this time around, I think they have a lot of individuals wired, around the places.
Which makes it more deadly.
Now, how do we really curb these bombers?
Beautiful.
How do we really detect these bombers?
This was one of the things I was trying to say last week on the show, but then you were like, but then we have security chiefs, don't we?
Yeah, but you see,
you downplayed what I was trying to say last week. So at this point in time, we have to leave it to them.
Ishama, if the strategy was actually to curb the activity or the activities of Boko Haram, not infiltrating into a lot of localities like they used to do, and that has tremendously been done because we have a lot of initially captured, towns and cities already recovered from the Boko Haram insurgency. But the truth today is that I believe that we don't have a solution to actually detecting bombers. Over the weekend,
we really don't.
3 bombers, bombs exploded,
separate
and there were suicide bound.
Over 50-something persons dead,
exactly.
130-something persons injured. Come on, for how long would we continue? And look, because I said something that with the birth of ISIS, terrorism has taken a new course. Unlike what Al-Qaeda they had, they'll go somewhere and then...
look
at ISIS now.
Truth is the bomb.
That is exactly what Boko Haram...
The exact bomb that was dropped over the weekend was actually
now.
not the bombers killing people. It was actually the declaration of Boko Haram, pledging allegiance
to ISIS.
to ISIS.
What does that mean?
I mean, it has never happened. I think that's why
I mean,
the response of the military was very clear. It's nothing.
But then I think,
and it could be, they may be blabbing, you know.
Who could be blabbing?
How come they never talk about affiliation, you know, with ISIS all this while?
No, then, but because now they're pledging their allegiance. Mind you, you should also understand that.
That means they are losing the battle. They are losing the battle, and they are expecting that ISIS may come to their aid.
Whether or not they're losing the battle, the truth is, we should try and look at this, you know, from the human perspective also, from the perspective that the government, they need to do something urgent. We do not know whatever solution our security chiefs they have up their sleeves, but
initially they said they have an allegiance or they have a pact with Al-Qaeda.
Of course, that's
so. How come Al-Qaeda is not coming into helping them? How come they are pledging allegiance fresh to ISIS?
No, if they're because the truth is, at the end of the day, I really do not see any difference between ISIS and Al-Qaeda. The only difference I see is their name. That's it. But anyway, then, at the end of the day, they're tied by one thing: destruction, pain, killing. Groups, they're all terrorist groups. They're all tied together. So the issue now is, what exactly do our security chiefs and the president of Nigeria have in store to protect people?
Anyway, in handing up on this very particular story, the military came out very strong over the weekend to say that it is not a problem, that Nigerians should not worry, that their allegiance to ISIS is nothing to worry about.
But anyway, at the end of the day,
we just want to believe that is true. Yeah,
we can
just want to believe. Now, you will agree with me that, you know, field queues have disappeared off the street. I mean, we had some ruling government personnel who
queues have disappeared off the streets, but then I still remember how the experiences I had over the weekend.
What happened?
It's just like transportation was something else.
Why?
Pretty expensive.
I didn't experience that.
But that's
because I drive.
Well, I do. But on that day, because I couldn't get fuel, so I had to take public transportation. And I know how much I had to spend, and I was like, God, so this is what Nigerians face.
Wow. Anyway, for me, the queues have disappeared. I believe that the president and his cohorts made a promise that the queues would disappear. And as far as I'm concerned, the queues have disappeared.
So can they also make promises also to restore power before the elections? Because all through this weekend... To restore power? Yes. Like,
they never said that.
All through this... No, I am saying, like...
Before the elections?
We hope they can also add that.
No, it's part of the new package
because the truth
when
is,
we come back into power. Okay, when PDP comes back into power.
When you people come back in. So
no, I didn't say you people. Excuse me, I said when they come back into power.
Nigerians stay in darkness until you people come back into power. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that. It was a slip of tongue. But what I mean, Ishama, seriously, what I mean...
stay in darkness because all through this weekend,
what can they possibly do in 6 hours, in 6 weeks?
We had to generate our own power.
What can government possibly do in 6 weeks?
Really? What can they possibly do? So how possible is it that they said they were trying to eliminate Boko Haram? So that means all of that was just Please, be honest.
Okay.
Be honest.
Anyway, I mean, I thought we're really, as usual, we plan most of the times to come on the show and come really very cool, addressing some certain issues. But the moment we get in here, one way or the other, we just differ on some, I mean, for some reasons, I really don't know. And it's getting really very hot in the studio. We'll go on a short break now, and then when we come back, we'll take this conversation to the next level. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Crossfire. Before we went on a short break, we were discussing and throwing lights on some stories that are making headlines. And I remembered vividly that the last one we took was, you know, on the PVC, on the fuel queues that has suddenly disappeared. And then, I mean, another one, because of time, we'll just mention it. You are aware that Hynec postponed, you know, distribution and collection of PVC to 22nd of March, and that is just barely 1 week to the elections. Obviously, anybody who has not collected their PVC by the 22nd of this month will definitely and automatically
I can understand why Professor Jega had to do that.
Anyway, let's see how that goes, and then we'll bring you more information as we have updates on them. Now, Chad and Niger launches land and air strike against Boko Haram. We're hoping that all of this will work together to ensuring and Niger, yeah,
not Nigeria,
no, and Niger, yeah,
just checking.
You know, so we need to just keep our fingers crossed and see how much of activity you know, that this will curb for the Boko Haram. You know, provide security for the nation. I mean, most importantly,
can I ask the question? Yeah? Why didn't Nigeria also participate in the air raid? I thought we were told that they bought sophisticated weapons.
Yes, who told you Nigeria has not been doing that?
Okay. Last time I checked, the news story didn't mention Nigeria.
They don't have to tell you all the arsenals they actually have been, you know, launching, against the Boko Haram. They don't know, government doesn't know us that much details. All we care is that Boko Haram should be eradicated and totally crushed out of Nigeria. And then Jega made service chiefs and IGP over pool. I mean, we hope that, I mean, this is a building story, and we believe that as much information that we gather, you know, during the course of the week, we will try as much as possible to bring updates on this issue to us. All right. Now, over the weekend, there was a 1 million man march organized by the APC. I was around.
Because you already declared tonight. You already declared to Nigeria.
That's to tell you.
When you said
that was a true slip of tongue. Excuse me. That was really a slip of tongue. I was at the. I'm surprised that, you know.
Were you at the 1 million?
Let me tell you the twist about this story.
Were you at the 1 million?
I was there.
But let me tell you. You were there.
Hold on. Yes. I'm a journalist, and I'm out there. I mean, you know, to just ensure that we have stories.
Okay, so you went there to perform your duties.
Yes, my duties. But let me tell you the twist about this story. PDP came out on Sunday to say that everybody who came out for the 1 million man march were given 5,000 naira. Where is mine? Big question. Where is mine?
But you were there. Is that true?
Yeah, it wasn't true.
Good. Beautiful. Now you've answered.
It wasn't true.
Whoever came out to say that, I mean, come on.
I mean, obviously, it's just,
it's unfortunate how we play politics in this nation. I mean, we try to politicize every single thing. What if the people were given money, probably for lunch, or to say thank you for coming out and trekking under the sun? If I recall, the temperature on Saturday in Lagos was about 36 degrees. Imagine how hot.
People were
people were ready to subject themselves to that treatment just because. Come on, so who cares if they were giving 5,000 naira to buy bottles of water?
All right, that's cool. Anyway, we'll bring you more information as events unfold during the course of the week on this particular, story. And then lastly, International Women's Day. I mean, I enjoyed over the weekend a lot of talks, from the women angle. And particularly, two things were being preached. Shun violence as we approach the polls, and make sure that, security is restored.
Very true.
Women are very passionate when it comes to security. They want their husband to go out and come back. They want their children to go to school and come back. They want to be safe also. So the International, Women's Day simply was characterized by a lot of preaching for security and non-violence elections to be free and fair.
Right. I can just maybe permit me to lend my voice also to the struggle for gender equality. The truth is, in as much as women, we always clamor and plead to our male counterparts to also give us, equality, gender equality, to make it, an equal level playing field for, both the male gender and then the female gender. The truth is, at the end of the day, if we do not love ourselves, all of this will be, will lead to fertility. Because I've seen situations where we'll see how some women, still hate the next, the other woman. They look down on the next woman. They want to assess you based on your status, based on your educational qualifications and your tribe and all of that. And I wonder, if you do not love the next woman to you, how do you expect another man to respect you as a woman?
But
look at our traditions. Look at our traditions. Yeah. I was privileged to serve at the House of Assembly, the state where I had my, compulsory NYC, my NYC service. Yeah. And one of the things, I drafted a bill shunning and prohibiting some of the negative vices against women, particularly in the eastern part of the country where a woman's husband dies and then they perform some traditional rites. They make it mandatory that they have to shave off the woman's hair, and then the water used in washing the corpse, they force her to drink it. Isn't that degrading?
But
I know animals do not do that. Of course, it happens.
I thought that is Nollywood.
It happens. And I drafted the bill, putting a stop to it. But the truth is, at the end of the day, you may look at it like, oh, Nollywood, but then these things happen. Sometimes Nollywood, they come out to portray some of the things that happen. But now look at, it's still women, older women, that force the younger woman to participate in such barbaric activities.
Anyway, that's we hope that as the country evolves more, some of these things we definitely get eradicated. And I remembered over the weekend, former General retired General Muhammadu Buhari said that his own contribution for the Women's Day celebration is that government, should allow more women in politics. And that
true.
Seems to be. I'm waiting for a time when we'll have the first female vice president and then the first female president in Nigeria. And by that time, we know that women are actually involved.
But you know what? I believe?
In
as much as, yes, I agree we need more women in politics, it's not just enough for us to have more women. I believe it's time we begin to have credible women.
Okay.
Credible women in politics.
Let's see.
Let's see
How that goes. Let's see how that goes. All right. For today, we are. Our major topic for today was the litmus test that was carried out on the card reader over the weekend. This took place particularly on Saturday across 12 states of the Federation. And the INEC, that's the Independent National Electoral Commission, participated very fully in ensuring that the card readers were deployed to all of these states and to ensure that people were mobilized for the litmus test. And we have a lot of agitations and a lot of things to say about the outcome of the test on the card readers. The field test of smart card readers took place in 225 polling units and 358 voting centers across the 12 states of Nigeria on Saturday, March the 7th, 2015. The venues for the trials were Aguata in Anambra State, Jama'are in Bauchi State, Oshimili South in Delta State, Abakaliki in Ebonyi State, Ado-Ekiti in Ekiti State, Kumbotso in Kano State, Bunza in Kebbi State, Ikeja in Lagos State, Kokona in Nasarawa State, Shiroro in Niger State, Port Harcourt City, that's in River State, and Gasol in Taraba State. Information has it that all went well in some certain states, and a lot of other states recorded a very, very bad scenario and circumstances and happenstances that did not give any credibility to the use of the card reader for the elections. And Ishoma, we were particularly just perturbed about the outcome of the litmus test. In some states, it was recorded very as very successful. In some other states, it was recorded also as not very successful. And my concern,
not very successful.
Talking about
how would you rate it?
Now, when you say not very successful, for me, how do you? If we say we want to use it, the card reader as an antidote to one, to ensure that people are not disenfranchised. Two, to ensure that we have a free and fair elections. All the elements of the use of the card reader should be considered when you are actually grading it. When you want to say it's successful, how many voters was the card reader able to verify? To verify. And so, if, for instance, I have records like in Lagos, we have some cards that were read within the space of 5 seconds, and we have some that took almost a minute or more for the results to actually come. And it was obvious that they tested with a few clone cards, and those cards were outrightly rejected. So if you look at one, you will talk about the rejection, identification
cards. Isn't that a fantastic thing?
It is. Good. That's why I'm saying, INEC should have come out to tell Nigerians the things that the card reader should militate against. It should tell us, okay, people who bring clone cards will be detected. Nobody will be disenfranchised for as long as you are registered and you have your PVC. The machine should verify you.
The machine also, because it also picks up you have a position, I mean, where you put you can fix your thumbprint. So it matches with what you present.
Do you know a lot of fingerprints were bounced?
Exactly.
A lot of fingerprints.
Why?
No, I mean, issues have that. Okay.
Can I quickly read out, because I was reading out what the Resident Electoral Commissioner in Lagos, Mr. Akin Orebigi, one of the things he said that, particularly about the conduct of the exercise in Lagos, he said there was nowhere the battery failed during the exercise.
Okay, that's one element. That's one.
Yeah. In few instances where the cards could not be identified by the machines, we used the backup register to identify the card owner. Now, those in that category during the test were about 5%. And he said maybe their hands, that means their thumbs, were wet, but with the backup register, dirty. But with the backup register, we were able to identify them.
Okay. So that's for Lagos State, right?
That means even if you presented, a true PVC, and then it's your own card, not like you stole it or you bought it, which we've been hearing, but then you presented it and you really registered. Come on. So you see, even if the card bounces, but then they can check the backup register, and then they will definitely see your details.
Now my concern is, Shoma.
So I don't really think people will be disenfranchised.
My concern is actually the degree of acceptance, that we have recorded for the test. In so many states of the Federation, we have a ratio of 40 to 60 that the efficiency of the machine passed 60% and failed 40%. And again, look at the disparity and the conflict that is causing between the two most popular parties, the PDP and the APC.
Because one faction
how would somebody come out openly to say the card reader actually passed, even though the pass mark is 60% as against 40%?
I have
and that's why. What are the benchmark? What are we benchmarking the success of the card reader, on? What are the things we expect the card reader to do?
No,
and then when we say 10 things, that we can say 10 by 10, which is 100. And so if it fails in 2, we know that's 80%.
But
if it fails in 3, that's 70%.
At the end of the day, let's also understand the Nigerian factor here. Because I believe, in as much as you can, I don't really think, if 60 to 40, ratio 60 to 40, at the end of the day,
if it's an examination, as it were, 60%
that should give you a B in some schools.
No, don't go there. Don't go there, Shoma.
Wait. Now, let me tell you 2 reasons why I believe we should not 100% blame INEC for the 40. Now, maybe...
Do you know why? Do you know why you should not go academic with this?
I'm not going academic
10
on this.
people,
I'm not going academic.
10 PVCs were tested, and 6 people were allowed to vote.
Now, I want to break it down this way. Okay. Based on the happenings on ground as you and I speak. Now, some persons have been in Lagos, at least I can't speak of other states, but I know in Lagos, some people have been selling their PVCs, 1,000 naira. Do you want to buy?
The point is,
wait, hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
Now, at the end of the day, some of those persons who bought a PVC that does not belong to them will probably fall under the 40% that were bounced. Also, mind you, there's a place in Lagos where they call Oluwole. If you want any kind of certificate you want, they will give it to you, for it to look as good as new. Now, at the end of the day, what makes you think people have not printed such fake PVCs as you and I speak? Now, but those ones will come on the day of the election.
That is
with
just
the intent to vote.
That is just one.
That
makes just one of the criteria
every
for
day,
the card reader.
Every day, we hear it everywhere in the news.
That is just one.
No secret that PVCs were
Talk about fingerprints.
Over 15%
Talk about
PVCs
data.
were
Let me tell you, do you know?
They fall under this field category. My issue is, at the end of the day, if you and I are looking at it as the success base, I think INEC, to a very large extent, they've done well.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So now,
I can give you reasons.
Consider some of the points I said also. Presentation of fake PVCs.
They make sense, Ishoma.
Or somebody who registered at Abuja will now come on the day of the election with the hope to vote in Lagos. You know that is not possible.
Let me even tell you what happened.
So at the end of the day, some of those people will come out and say, oh, INEC.
There was an error. There was a particular error. I've forgotten the meaning now. If you leave your word, I remember. Now, the error is OPC. If they put in your PVC, it gives an error, a code on the card reader as OPC, and that actually means other polling cards. It simply means if you register in Surulere and you want to go and use your PVC to vote in Ojuelegba, Ojuelegba may still be seen as part of Surulere. Maybe you want to come and vote in VR where you have not recorded, where in the register your name is not there. It gives an error, and that error is OPC, which means other polling cards, which means you cannot use it to vote in that particular word. And that's excellent. To me, that is very excellent.
Will also fall under the 40%.
But what I am saying is that INEC before now, and that is still my concern, INEC before now should have given us like 10 to 12 or 20 items or elements that the card reader is expected to achieve.
But then they came out.
Like what?
We've seen it everywhere. These were some of the things Jega stated when he met with, during his presentation to the Senate.
But I would have expected for people who have dirty fingerprints that you will come up with probably spirit and cotton wool.
No, but the truth is, come on. Even at the end of the day, the truth is, it's not, INEC shouldn't begin to educate people. But we know on the day of the election, for example, on the day of the election, these are things that will be in place. And even if they are not provided, you would expect that any individual will use their common sense.
Ishoma, let me shock you.
Clean.
Let me shock you. Don't forget that this election was supposed to take place 14th of February 2015. It was shifted. That comes back to the fact that I've always said that the postponement was actually premeditated. It wasn't anything that borders around security and distribution of PVC only. Let me prove it to you. How come this litmus test was not done before the 14th of February?
But then they were carrying it out.
They were
doing their own test.
They didn't go to centers. They didn't go to wards.
They were doing their own tests with cards to see the efficiency. Come on, before Professor Jega ordered for those card readers, before they made up their minds that we were going to go this route, they also tested it. But and I, the truth is,
that means it's an afterthought to carry out this litmus test. Are you saying it's an afterthought?
I understand also that you and I are doing this analysis for Nigerians to be able to pick up or call into the show and say, okay, well, I believe INEC, they're doing a fantastic job, and I think the card readers are a success or a failure. But then let's just look at it politically also, because since everything in the nation now has gotten taken a political route, I see no reason why any political party that has the interest of the people, credible elections at heart, will speak or oppose the card reader.
Why would
anybody want to oppose the card reader?
Let us look at the credibility of the card reader. Let us look at the efficiency and the effectiveness of using the card reader. Now, if the card reader, hold on, let me make this point. Ishama, let me make this point. If the card reader is actually going to purport or support the fact that people believe it's going to be an antidote, for rigging and to forestall a very smooth electionary process, I would. Who am I not to support the use of the card reader?
Do you support the use of the card reader?
I seems to have my doubts about the card reader. It is not because I am being political. I'm an IT person, and I can tell you wholeheartedly that when a system is put in place and it cannot support your business, it means you have to look for solutions.
Business of rigging or what?
No, I'm saying that.
I don't understand.
I mean, I just use that, to just oppose my explanation. I'm saying that the card reader should have been presented to Nigeria or introduced into the electionary process by INEC coming to tell us these are the things the card reader is meant to do. And we will benchmark the success. Hold on
because
now.
If Professor Jega was here, he would also tell that these were the same things I presented to the Senate House. These were some of the things we had at the back of our minds when we conducted these things.
When you shifted the elections, barely 1 week to the first
they also made available to the public also that, mind you, the card readers, these are some of the things it will expose. Now, the truth is, a lot of persons also who are familiar with this process will also say at the end of the day, is that if there will be any occasion of fraud or rigging on the day of the election, it's not because the card readers failed. It's basically because whatever political party that wanted to rig the election, they were able to successfully do that using or buying over or being compromising whatever electoral officer that was manning that polling unit. Okay. But then they will do that without the use of the card reader.
Let me
but if everything should go as planned and we use the card readers, the truth is we will have, at least according to what they said, 80% success.
Okay, let me prove you wrong. Let me prove you wrong. And I will start by first telling you a couple of results that were beautiful and it was realized during the litmus test. Okay. Number one, they discovered that the machine was subjected to hours of use and the battery actually lasted. And don't forget, they have a backup battery to ensure that the machine does not go, does not go off at any point in time.
Which I hope, and I believe this answers, but
yes, let me give you another good point. Let me give you another good point before I come to points that will negate that the preparation and the introduction of the card reader may not actually be the antidote we have been looking for against rigging. Now, number two, we verified the OPC error that I told you. It simply means you cannot bring your PVC from another word to come and vote from a different word to come and vote in another word, which will give you an error. Number three is the fact that a lot of, that's the rejection of the PVC cards. Number three thing is just that if your name is not in the voters register and the card reader actually declares you, not available in that word, and they check again to confirm in the register and you are not there, it simply is an indication that you may be carrying either a fake PVC or you may maybe an OPC message. Exactly. He could, and so without really mincing words, I'm being objective here, Aishoma, and I'm saying that the card reader have so many beautiful features that we will use and that we can take advantage of in the coming elections. But I'm saying that the litmus test that the card reader was being subjected to is too close to the elections. That's number one. It's too close to the elections. Number two, hold on now. Let me land on my point.
Would it deter the successfulness of the elections?
Okay, now I'm going there. Now, number two thing that you and I need to agree on is the fact that it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Is the fact that the card reader legitimately is rejecting people using the card reader with their PVC. It will reject them. They will check in the register, the name of the person is there. And now, information having, hold on now, let me land on this point. I listen to you, Shoma, now.
That was why I read what Mr. Orebi said earlier. Can I
just land on this point? It has been discovered that the information on the card readers are not updated, and there's every possibility that there is a INEC database probably has been compromised.
But do you know also? But now let's not mislead Nigerians.
These are things that are subject to confirmation.
If on the day of the election anybody is in this position, probably their card was being rejected, but then they checked and your name was on INEC's database on the register. The truth is, you will still vote. As long as your name was on the backup system, you will still vote. So let's not make Nigerians feel like, then it won't work in my favor. No, you will still vote. It's your right. As long as, even if the card rejects your name, but then they check and they find your name on the system base, you will still vote. That is it. Okay. Because now, this is not, mind you, you're not using the PVC to vote per se. This is only part of the accreditation process. Okay. So nobody will be disenfranchised if your card is being rejected. As long as they check their system and they see your name, you would vote.
All right. Let's
just make that clear.
My main point, which I will make after we take this call. Good morning, Isa.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, how are you today?
No, I just want to make some contribution based on these card readers.
All right, please go ahead.
The problem people are having with this card reader problem in some printing is because during the registration.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
You know, they're having issue in terms of some printing.
Yes.
During the registration.
Yes.
So, at times, what I observed, I was there when the registration was going on. If at all your thumbprint was able to capture, they use somebody's thumbprint rather there. So you see, the card reader will not dictate two thumbprints that has the same person have different people in one card reader. That's why they are having error in that card reader, in the thumbprint there.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, we got your
Thank
point.
You so
Thank
much.
you so very much.
Issa.
Now, let me quickly read it. No, I was going to make a point.
Logical?
I was going to make a point.
No, wait. I need to address what he said. I mean, I don't think that's
let's
logical.
take this call.
You use double tone printing on my card.
Let's take this. Chukuma, good morning. Hello, Chukuma.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Oh, we lost that call. Now, listen to this. In Kano, it was reported that APC and PDP had strong disagreements on card readers' efficiency in Kano. Akim Baba Ahmed, the APC representative, confirmed the device successfully captured about 60% of the test voters. Just 40% had difficulties with biometric data and fingerprinting.
We also understand what the rest
Don't worry.
Electoral Commission
Hold on your thoughts. We'll go on a short break now, and then when we come back, we'll be approaching the last trench of the show. And this is becoming really very interesting. All right, we'll be right back. We are back still on the card reader litmus test that HINEC organized over the weekend in 12 states and in 358 voting centers. And we have been analyzing the results, the pros, the cons, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And a lot of school of thought are saying the use of the card reader is simply the best antidote Nigeria has ever produced to help, militate against rigging. But some other school of thought are saying that we cannot trust in the credibility of the card reader. And so that's what we've been discussing, and viewers have been making their contribution, and we have been sampling opinions and sharing, information on this same matter. Like I read before we went on the break, in Kano, Akim Baba Ahmed, the APC representative, confirmed the device successfully captured about 60% of the voters, of the test voters. Just 40% had difficulties with biometric data and fingerprinting. Meanwhile, however, the PDP, Umar, he lamented there were huge problems with the card reader. Huge. Which could lead to disenfranchisement of many Nigerians. In his opinion, the INEC could have allowed the card reader to be used in future elections, while this particular election should be done with the ordinary PVC, just the way it is. Like I was saying, let me finish on my point, Ishama. Like I was trying to say, 40% against 60%, and then 52% against 48%, in a proper academic setting. 60% is a pass mark. 52% is a good mark. But I'm saying that with respect to the card reader, we need something close to about 95% success. So that what we are saying is that out of 10 people who comes out on that day to come and vote, if one person is going back home because everything worked against him, it's understandable. But that out of 10 people, 6 people will be allowed to vote and 4 people will go back home.
But then
it is a failure.
The truth is, I don't know why. Well, let's just assume whatever it is, these political parties, they're based on their grievances on the card, all of them trying to fault the card reader. We also understand the political mindset and bias towards the card reader. But then the answer has been provided already.
By who? Only one rec. You are just emphasizing.
Because this is how it is. And the truth is, if on the day of the election, your card is rejected by the card reader, it is your right. And the thing is, they will also check what? The backup register. If you know your card is genuine and you have every right to vote, then they will check the backup register. And once they find your name on it, irrespective of the fact whether your card was rejected or not, if they see that you were registered there, they would allow you vote. Okay. So I see no reason why these people are trying to discredit based on the card reader, because there's already a solution.
Okay.
Now, the
how
other
do you
issue,
answer this question? I have a scenario for you.
Wait.
Okay.
There's also another issue which I have seen, basically, in Niger State, in Delta, all of them, all point, even in Kano, all pointing to the issue about thumbprint. Like Issa said, one of the issues...
And then biometric
One of the issues he said, of course, I think they have solutions to that. But then, for people whose thumbprint also could not be verified, probably based on greasy, dirty finger, it's simple.
I understand that.
I understand that.
Okay.
It's not that difficult.
Let me give you this scenario.
If it's on the issue of the card,
yeah,
that has been sorted out already.
Let me give you this scenario.
It has been sorted
Somebody
out.
has a PVC that he collected in a particular word.
Okay.
He got there, the card reader rejected it, and then there is no name in the register. What happens? And he collected his PVC at that particular word. Before you answer, let's take this call. Sulaiman, good morning. Hello, Sulaiman.
Hello.
Hello, Sulaiman. Sulaiman, hello. Okay. I gave you a
I hope you can call us back.
Yeah, I gave you a scenario. And that scenario is very simple. We have issues on Saturday of people who have their PVCs. The PVC was collected in a particular word. Now, the voters register does not contain the person's name anymore. And the PVC is not recognizing the card.
The truth is, on that day of the election, that is why they have security men. They will find out, how did you get your PVC?
So everybody who have that case
but the truth is,
coming up with a fake PVC.
I'm not saying everybody will come up with a fake PVC, but then at the end of the day, because the truth
this is even an old man, a very old man.
Because the truth is, on the day of the elections, come on, these are some of the issues. Now, you and I are here discussing these issues. The thing is, these were some of the issues some of the problems which INEC encountered, and Professor Jega, they're trying hard to solve it.
Good morning, Sulaiman.
Hello?
Hello, Sulaiman. Hello, Sulaiman.
Hello.
Good morning, my brother.
All right, Sulaiman.
Good morning.
You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Look, I want to make some recommendation.
Please go ahead.
It's like the issue of what do you call it, card reader. So, for my own opinion and suggestion is that the only people that are not in support of this card reader, I thought this is the PDP. I think the PDP are just panicking because if you look back at history, I'm a PDP member before.
Okay.
So PDP have never won an election in a free and fair contest, to be honest.
PDP doesn't want the elections?
They have never. If you look back to history, I come from Kaduna State, really. I know that our governor, our Kaduna State governor, did not win the election. He just got there. He rigged the election.
Wow. All right.
So yes, I'm not joking. So that maybe now they realize that Professor Jega come with a new innovation that maybe will prevent them from rigging the election again.
All right. Thank you very much for your opinion, Sulaiman. What is funny, Ishama? That is Sulaiman's opinion. Sulaiman is just one out of 170 million Nigerians.
But at the end of the day,
okay, I was making a point.
I wanted to ask him a question, but he didn't allow me. I wanted to ask him if he was in support of the card reader. But obviously from his...
He said he believes in the use of the card reader.
No,
but he feels that his party, which he actually belongs to, probably does not want the card reader. I mean, that is Sulaiman's opinion.
No,
something came up.
Candid opinion based on what you said. Now, the truth is because I remember also when we were using the temporary voters card, there were some people who had their TVCs, but then their names still were not on the register of the election.
Exactly.
On the register of that polling unit for them. Of course, but then some of those were allowed to vote based on how they were able to resolve it. They have their standard.
You are saying that some situation will happen on the election day that the ad hoc committee and the security and all the people that are there will Miranda.
No, they will not Miranda.
Why?
What I'm trying to say is INEC, they already have their standards.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Anything out of the standard.
If you present a PVC and then your name is not on this, whatever, it is left for them. I am not an INEC official. I'm only a Nigerian who is trying to analyze the success or the failure of the card reader. But it is left for Professor Jega and his team to say, this is what we do, or as a proof to show that you registered here. So let's leave it for them. Let's focus on the success. And in my own opinion, it was a success.
Now, look at this. over the weekend, somebody was talking about Professor Atairu Jega. He said, must have to convince Nigerians on what contingency plan he has before some political stakeholders will fully endorse the use of the equipment for the verification of authentic permanent voters card during the election. The PDP saw what said, INEC has to prove to Nigerians that it is ready for a hitch-free election with the use of the card reader, noting that millions of Nigerians would have been disenfranchised if INEC had gone ahead with the earlier date scheduled for the election without the postponement.
Forget that's past.
We should just forget it.
As far as this is concerned, it's a success.
Let's take this call.
Do they want them to bring Jesus to come and prove?
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, but Nigerians are interested in being able to know that, okay, on that day, haven't gone the extra mile to pick up their PVC, and it's been stressful, don't forget, and then you get there on that day, and you are completely disallowed, from exercising your civic responsibility.
They would not.
Why? All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Pin?
Fine. I want to commend you on your well done job.
Yeah, thank you very much. Go ahead.
Yeah. This issue of this card reader.
Yes.
Yeah. There is a great achievement there, and there is great progress. Those people behind it are against it are those people who want to rig the election. You understand? Mind you, this process is being done for us. For us to take the issue of this on Saturday's problem. They need to run a test. You understand?
Yes. Yeah.
They need to run a test so that they should know where they have the problem, where they have lapses, so for them to correct it. So they need this to correct it, not that this thing has. So because of this, they will take their corrections after this all this assessment. They will take their correction and will adjust. The 40% failure you are saying, they might adjust it to be maybe 10% only.
Okay.
Why do we still have a week for the election? So they will make all these corrections before then.
Sure.
So I think there's no big problem with going ahead with the card reader. So I strongly support the card reader issue. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much,
Thank you
Pin.
so much.
Thank you very much, Pin. Anyway, for me and for you, all we are interested in is to ensure that we have a free and fair election, the type that can be described as credible and transparent, that we usher in a fresh, that freshness. I don't want to say change because people will say I'm PDP. but I believe
you could have completed this thing
that freshness,
a fresh party a fresh government.
into Nigeria. We want to say a very big thank you to everyone who have been a part of our show today. The issue of the card reader is just an emerging story, and every update that we have on it, we'll bring it back to you on this show. Yeah. Thank you, everyone who called us on the show, and you made your thoughts known. We'll be back tomorrow morning for another very interesting episode. Do stay out of trouble and say no to violence.
God bless you, and do not drink and drive.
Stay blessed. Bye. Stay blessed.